There exists a fundamental truth in life. The person who achieves greatness is the one who learns to direct their energy inward. The world is filled with distractions, with the noise of other people's successes, opinions, and actions. But you must understand, your greatest potential lies not in what others do, but in what you do. When you wake up each morning, ask yourself, what am I doing today to become better than I was yesterday? Because that is the only battle worth fighting, the battle with yourself. Many spend their days watching others, measuring themselves against what someone else has done. They feel envy, doubt, and discouragement when they see others moving forward while they remain in the same place. But comparison is a thief. It steals your confidence, your energy, and your belief in your own abilities. Your mind is a garden. If you plant seeds of self-improvement, discipline, and ambition, your future will blossom with success. But if you fill it with weeds, envy, distraction, and worry about others, you will only reap frustration and failure. True power lies in mastering your own mind, your own actions, your own discipline. No one else will walk your path for you. No one else will achieve your dreams for you. The more you invest in yourself, your knowledge, your skills, your mindset, the closer you will move to success. So focus on yourself. Guard your time, protect your energy, and direct your attention only to what helps you grow. Let others run their race while you run yours with unwavering determination and purpose. The road to success is not a competition. It is a test of endurance. And the only person you must surpass is the person you were yesterday. Now go forth and build the best version of yourself. Success is not a matter of chance. It is the result of deliberate and consistent self-improvement. The person who masters the art of developing themselves, refining their skills, and sharpening their mind will always rise above those who simply coast through life. The greatest asset you have in this world is yourself, and the only way to increase your value is through focused self-improvement. Everything you desire, success, wealth, personal fulfillment, and influence comes as a direct result of how much you invest in yourself. The individual who prioritizes personal growth will always outperform those who remain stagnant. It is a universal law that growth leads to opportunity, and opportunity leads to success. But this growth cannot happen without effort, discipline, and a commitment to constant learning. Most people spend their lives observing others, watching their progress, envying their achievements, and wondering why they themselves are not moving forward. They become trapped in a cycle of comparison, which leads to frustration and self-doubt. But the truth is simple. What you focus on expands. If you focus on yourself, on improving your knowledge, skills, and character, you will naturally rise above your previous limitations. The person who dedicates time every day to reading, learning, and developing new skills is preparing for greater opportunities. Self-improvement is not just about acquiring knowledge or learning new skills. It is also about mastering discipline, developing a strong mindset, and cultivating habits that support success. The mind, like a muscle, requires exercise. It must be trained to think productively, to push beyond limitations, and to resist distractions. Most people are ruled by their emotions, acting out of impulse and reacting to circumstances rather than shaping them. But the individual who learns to control their mind gains control over their destiny. Discipline plays a crucial role in self-improvement. Without it, even the most ambitious dreams remain unrealized. Discipline is the ability to make yourself do what is necessary, even when you don't feel like it. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. The undisciplined person drifts through life, while the disciplined person moves with purpose and direction. It is important to understand that self-improvement is a lifelong journey. There is no final destination, no point at which you can say, I have learned enough. The world is constantly evolving, and those who refuse to grow are left behind. The most successful people in history have all been students of life. always learning, always evolving, always pushing themselves to new heights. They did not wait for opportunities. They prepared for them. Many people fail to improve themselves because they expect immediate results. But true self-improvement is not an overnight transformation. It is a process that requires patience, persistence, and resilience. Progress may seem slow at times, but every effort compounds over time, leading to extraordinary results. Small daily improvements lead to massive success in the long run. To truly harness the power of self-improvement, one must take full responsibility for their own growth. No one else can do it for you. Excuses, blame, and external circumstances have no place in the mindset of someone committed to self-mastery. The person who understands this truth stops waiting for the right time, stops looking for shortcuts, and starts taking action. The journey of self-improvement is the journey of transformation. It is the path to becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. The rewards of this journey are immense confidence, success, fulfillment, and the ability to create a life of purpose. The only real competition you have in life is with yourself. When you commit to being better today than you were yesterday, you set yourself on a path of unstoppable progress. That comparison is a silent killer of self-worth, a thief that steals away your joy, your peace of mind, and your potential. Sin and your potential. It is a trap that many fall into without realizing the damage it is doing to their inner strength. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you are shifting your focus away from your own journey and placing it on another person. The problem with this is that you cannot possibly know the full story of their life, their struggles, or their challenges. Yet, when you compare, you measure your worth by a standard that is not yours to meet. The result is a feeling of inadequacy, frustration, and defeat. At first, comparison may seem harmless, even motivating. You see someone else's success and think, if they can do it, so can I. But this is a dangerous mindset because it overlooks the complexity of personal growth. Everyone's path is different, and success does not come at the same speed or in the same form for everyone. The person you compare yourself to may have faced challenges you know nothing about, or they may have had advantages that were not available to you. Yet in your mind, their achievements are set as the benchmark, and you begin to question your own progress. This constant comparison to others only serves to hold you back. Instead of focusing on your own strengths and progress, you become obsessed with what you lack compared to someone else. You ignore your unique gifts, your personal journey, and the lessons you are learning. You start to believe that success is a finite resource, that because someone else has it, you must be falling behind. But this simply isn't true. The world is full of opportunities, and there is no limit to how far you can go if you stay focused on your own growth. The danger of comparison is not only about how it affects your self-esteem, it also leads to unhealthy competition and undermines your ability to collaborate or learn from others. When you view others through the lens of comparison, it becomes difficult to appreciate their achievements without feeling resentment or jealousy. Instead of celebrating their success, you begin to resent them for having what you don't. This erodes relationships, creates unnecessary tension, and ultimately isolates you from the support system that is so essential for growth. Furthermore, when you measure your worth against someone else's, you lose sight of your own values and goals. You start to follow paths that are not aligned with your purpose simply because they appear to be the path to success based on someone else's experience. This leads to confusion, frustration, and a sense of being lost. The most successful individuals are those who know who they are and are willing to walk their own path, regardless of what others are doing. The truth is, comparison is never an accurate reflection of reality. It distorts your perception of yourself and others. It places unnecessary pressure on you to be someone you are not, to fit into a mold that does not reflect your individuality. The more you compare, the further you move away from your true self. The solution is not to stop recognizing others' successes, but rather to learn to use them as inspiration rather than a measure of your worth. It is essential to remember that everyone has their own unique journey. What you see on the outside is only a small piece of the story. The person you are comparing yourself to has likely faced struggles you know nothing about. Instead of measuring your life by their accomplishments, focus on the progress you've made, however small it may seem. Celebrate the steps you've taken and appreciate the lessons learned along the way. Comparison is an obstacle, a mental barrier that prevents you from realizing your own potential. It is a waste of energy and a drain on your mental and emotional resources. By shifting your focus from others to yourself, you unlock the true power within. When you stop measuring yourself by someone else's standards and start building your own, you will find that success is not a race to be won by comparison, but a personal journey to be embraced with confidence and self-awareness. In the world we live in today, distractions are everywhere. We live in today, distractions are everywhere. The noise, the temptations, the constant pull of technology. These are all forces that can easily divert your attention away from what truly matters. Yet, the most successful people throughout history have all had one thing in common, a clear sense of purpose. When you have purpose in your life, it acts as a guiding light, helping you navigate through the sea of distractions that can otherwise cause you to lose focus. Purpose gives your actions meaning, direction, and motivation, while distractions only serve to slow you down, cloud your judgment, and scatter your energy. One of the greatest challenges people face is maintaining that sense of purpose in the face of constant distractions. Whether it's scrolling through social media, checking emails, or engaging in conversations that don't align with your goals, it's easy to lose track of what you're truly striving for. Distractions might feel satisfying in the moment, but they are ultimately empty. They do not lead you closer to your dreams, but rather pull you away from them. They make you feel busy, but not productive, occupied, but not fulfilled. Yeah. Purpose, on the other hand, is not just a feeling. It's a driving force. It provides the foundation for your decisions, the motivation behind your actions, and the fuel that keeps you moving forward, even when things get tough. When you have a clear purpose, you begin to recognize distractions for what they are. Temporary diversions that do nothing but waste time. Purpose helps you distinguish between what is important and what is inconsequential. It helps you say no to things that do not serve your greater goals, and it keeps you grounded when you are tempted to deviate from your path. The real power of purpose lies in its ability to focus your mind. When you are driven by a deep sense of purpose, your energy becomes concentrated. You stop allowing yourself to be pulled in multiple directions and start dedicating your resources to what truly matters. Your attention is no longer split between countless distractions. Instead, it is directed toward a singular objective, something that gives you meaning and a reason to keep going, no matter the obstacles that arise. When you allow distractions to take over, you are not just losing time, you are losing potential. Every moment spent on a trivial pursuit is a moment that could have been used to develop your skills, build your network, or take a step closer to your dreams. Distractions trick you into thinking you are productive, but they only serve to delay your progress. In contrast, living with purpose means that each action you take is intentional. Each decision is purposeful, and each day brings you closer to your goal. Purpose also provides resilience in the face of failure or setbacks. When you are driven by something greater than yourself, when your efforts are aligned with a cause that truly matters to you, obstacles become less daunting. Instead of seeing failure as an endpoint, you begin to see it as a lesson, a necessary part of the process. Distractions, however, make you more vulnerable to giving up when things get tough. They offer quick comfort and instant gratification, but they fail to provide the strength to push through adversity. Living with purpose is about being intentional with how you spend your time. It means making conscious choices about where you direct your focus and energy. Instead of allowing the world around you to dictate your priorities, you take charge of your own life and make decisions that support your long-term vision. Every day you have the opportunity to choose between distractions and purpose, between the easy route and the one that will lead to lasting fulfillment. In the end, Purpose is the only thing that will truly guide you to success. It is the compass that helps you navigate the distractions of life. By embracing purpose over distraction, you align your actions with your deepest values, desires, and goals. This alignment brings clarity, focus, and an undeniable drive to achieve greatness. Distractions will always be there, but when you live with purpose, they will have no power over you. The law of cause and effect is one of the most profound principles governing life. It is a universal law, simple in its essence, yet powerful in its implications. Everything that happens in our lives is the result of something we did, thought, or allowed to unfold. Whether we are aware of it or not, every action we take sets off a chain of events, and the results of those actions will always come back to us, one way or another. The choices we make, the attitudes we hold, and the habits we form are all causes that produce effects, shaping the world around us. At its core, this law teaches us that there is no such thing as a random event. Every outcome in your life has a direct link to the actions, decisions, and thoughts you have had. If you are not happy with the results in your life, look back at the causes, the steps you took, the words you spoke, the way you approached situations. This understanding is incredibly empowering because it means that you have control over your life. If you can acknowledge that every effect is the result of a cause, you realize that by changing the causes, the actions, attitudes, and thoughts, you change the effects in your life. Facts in your life. If you are not satisfied with your current circumstances, you have the ability to shift your actions, thinking, and habits to create different outcomes. This law is not just about recognizing that cause and effect exist. It's about taking responsibility for your role in creating the effects you experience. The law of cause and effect also reveals that the actions you take today lay the foundation for the future. Every decision you make, no matter how small it seems, ripples outward and creates consequences. The act of working hard towards your goals now will have positive effects down the road. On the other hand, procrastinating or avoiding work will eventually lead to missed opportunities, frustration, and regret. The law emphasizes the importance of consistency, persistence, and attention to detail. The small actions you take each day accumulate, creating the life you eventually experience. In this context, the law also underscores the importance of personal responsibility. It teaches that you are the creator's own destiny. While external circumstances and factors may influence your journey, your responses, decisions, and choices are what shape the direction of your life. When you recognize the power you have to influence outcomes, you begin to realize that success is not something that just happens to you. It is something that you actively create through the causes you set in motion. Understanding the law of cause and effect also brings clarity to the way we deal with setbacks and failures. When things don't go as planned, it is easy to feel victimized by external forces. However, the law teaches us that setbacks are often the result of causes, mistakes, poor decisions, or lack of preparation that were set in motion earlier. This understanding is not meant to blame or criticize, but to encourage a mindset of growth. When we encounter a negative effect, we can look back at the causes and adjust our actions moving forward. Every failure is a lesson in cause and effect, offering insight into what worked and what didn't. Moreover, this law applies to our thoughts as much as it does to our actions. Our thoughts are powerful causes, setting off emotional responses and influencing how we react to situations. Positive thoughts lead to positive outcomes, fostering confidence, resilience, and creativity. Negative thoughts, however, create limitations, fostering fear, self-doubt, and indecision. The law shows us that what we think about consistently is what we eventually create in our lives. The law of cause and effect offers not only a framework for understanding life's events, but also a roadmap for creating a future you desire. By being mindful of your actions, staying conscious of the thoughts you entertain, and ensuring your behaviors align with your goals, you can begin to create the life you want. Success is not about waiting for the perfect opportunity. It's about creating opportunities through your actions. The effects you experience are directly tied to the causes you put into motion, and with intention, awareness, and responsibility, you have the power to shape your destiny. Mastering self-discipline is one of the most powerful skills you can develop, as it directly determines the quality of your life and the degree of success you achieve. In a world full of distractions, temptations, and competing demands on your time, the ability to control your impulses and stay focused on your goals is what sets successful individuals apart from those who remain stuck. Self-discipline is not about suppressing desires or living a life of complete restraint. It is about making conscious choices that align with your long-term objectives, even when immediate gratification is tempting. It is the key that unlocks potential, builds momentum, and creates a foundation for lasting achievement. At its core, self-discipline is about control. It is the ability to manage your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to consistently make choices that support your larger vision. This may involve resisting the urge to procrastinate, maintaining a consistent work routine, or avoiding temptations that pull you off track. The successful person is the one who can delay short-term pleasure for long-term gain, understanding that the sacrifices made today will yield rewards in the future. Self-discipline requires the strength to resist instant gratification and the patience to pursue what truly matters, even when the path is difficult or uncertain. The first step in mastering self-discipline is setting clear, well-defined goals. Without a clear vision, it is easy to be swept away by distractions and lose focus. When you are tempted to give in to distractions or laziness, your goals act as a reminder of why you need to push through. The stronger and more specific your goals are, the easier it is to remain disciplined in your approach. Once you have clear goals, the next step is creating a plan of action. Self-discipline thrives on structure and routine. Without a plan, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the many tasks and choices that come with pursuing your goals. By breaking down your larger goals into smaller, manageable steps, you create a roadmap that keeps you on track. This plan should include specific actions, timelines, and checkpoints to help you stay accountable. The more detailed your plan, the easier it becomes to make decisions aligned with your goals. In addition to planning, self-discipline involves cultivating good habits. Habits are the foundation of disciplined living because they automate good behaviors, making it easier to stay consistent. Whether it's waking up early to exercise, dedicating time each day to reading, or committing to work for a set number of hours, habits are the small daily actions that build momentum over time. When you repeat productive behaviors consistently, they become second nature, requiring less conscious effort to maintain. Building positive habits requires persistence, but once they are in place, they make self-discipline more effortless. One of the most challenging aspects of self-discipline is managing your emotions. Emotions can often cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions, whether it's the temptation to skip a workout or the urge to indulge in distractions. Emotions can derail your progress if left unchecked. Mastering self-discipline means recognizing when emotions are influencing your behavior and choosing to act in accordance with your long-term goals, not your momentary feelings. Developing emotional intelligence is essential for this process, as it enables you to stay calm, focused, and rational even in the face of temptation or adversity. Equally important, the ability to recover from setbacks. Self-discipline is not about perfection. It's about resilience. You will encounter obstacles, experience failures, and face moments of doubt along your journey. The key is to not let these setbacks break your resolve. When you slip up or make a mistake, instead of beating yourself up or giving up entirely, self-discipline means getting back on track as quickly as possible. Learning to bounce back from failure is a critical component of long-term success. Finally, self-discipline requires a strong sense of accountability. Being accountable to yourself is important, but having someone else hold you accountable can make a significant difference. This could be a mentor, coach, or a trusted friend who helps keep you on track, provides guidance, and encourages you when times are tough. Mastering self-discipline is a lifelong pursuit. It requires patience, practice, and persistence. It's not about being perfect or achieving everything at once. It's about developing the mental and emotional strength to make consistent progress no matter the obstacles. Self-discipline is the bridge between where you are today and where you want to be in the future. By building and strengthening this skill, you take full control of your life, and the results speak for themselves. In the chaos of modern life, it is easy to become distracted by the noise around us, whether it's the constant pressure of social media, the demands of work, or the expectations of others. The world often pushes us outward, urging us to look for solutions, validation, and strength outside of ourselves. But true strength comes from within. When you turn inward and begin to listen to your inner voice, you tap into a well of untapped potential. This inner strength is not something that can be given to you by external forces. It is something that must be cultivated and nurtured from within. Turning inward for strength requires the courage to face yourself, to confront your fears, and to trust in your own abilities. At first, this may seem like a daunting process. After all, we are often taught to seek answers and strength from others, whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a friend. While guidance from others can be valuable, true empowerment comes from being able to rely on yourself. Turning inward means learning to trust your instincts and believe in your own capacity to solve problems and overcome challenges. It's about developing an inner reservoir of resilience that you can draw from during difficult times. One of the first steps in turning inward is developing self-awareness. To access your inner strength, you must first understand who you are, what drives you, and what your true desires are. This requires taking the time to reflect on your values, your goals, and the emotions that guide your decisions. Self-awareness allows you to connect with your core, enabling you to make choices that align with your true self rather than being swayed by the opinions and expectations of others. It is this clarity of purpose and understanding that forms the foundation of your inner strength. Turning inward also involves learning to quiet the noise around you. In a world that is constantly demanding your attention, it can be hard to hear your own thoughts. Meditation, mindfulness, and other practices that encourage stillness help create the mental space needed to connect with your inner self. It's through this quiet reflection that you begin to hear your intuition, that inner voice that offers wisdom and guidance. In moments of stillness, you can access the deep well of knowledge that resides within you, helping you make decisions that reflect your true values and goals. Another key element of turning inward for strength is learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are powerful forces that can either propel you forward or hold you back. So when you are guided by emotions like fear, anger, or frustration, it's easy to lose sight of your goals and become overwhelmed by external circumstances. Turning inward means taking responsibility for your emotions, understanding why you feel the way you do, and learning to control your reactions. It's about mastering emotional intelligence so that you can respond to situations in a calm, thoughtful manner rather than being ruled by your impulses. This process also requires you to cultivate self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, quick to judge ourselves for mistakes and shortcomings. But true strength is found in being kind to yourself during times of failure or struggle. Instead of berating yourself, practice self-compassion by acknowledging your mistakes and seeing them as opportunities for growth. By embracing your imperfections and treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer to others, you build a stronger, more resilient sense of self-worth. Turning inward for strength is not about avoiding challenges or pretending that life is easy. It is about finding the courage to face adversity with grace and determination, knowing that you have the inner resources to overcome it. Life's challenges are inevitable, but by turning inward, you develop the mental and emotional strength to handle whatever comes your way. You build resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, and the wisdom to learn from your experiences. Moreover, turning inward fosters a sense of self-reliance. While external support can be valuable, true independence comes from knowing that you have the ability to navigate life on your own terms. When you trust in your own strength, you are no longer dependent on others for validation or approval. You learn to be your own source of motivation, finding the drive within yourself to keep moving forward no matter the obstacles. Ultimately, turning inward for strength is about reclaiming your power. It is about connecting with your true self and discovering the vast potential that lies within you. By developing self-awareness, managing your emotions, practicing self-compassion, and trusting your instincts, you unlock a well of strength that can carry you through the toughest of times. When you learn to rely on your own inner resources, you realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. The strength you seek is already inside you. All it takes is the courage to turn inward and embrace. In a world driven by competition, where success is often measured by how you outperform others, the idea of becoming a creator rather than a competitor can be revolutionary. The conventional mindset of constantly measuring yourself against others can lead to feelings of inadequacy, comparison, and burnout. Instead of focusing on competing for limited resources or recognition, shifting your focus toward creation offers a much more fulfilling and sustainable path. A creator does not live by the rules set by others. They craft their own path, build something unique, and contribute in ways that are authentic to their own vision and talents. Becoming a creator begins with embracing the mindset that you are capable of shaping your own future. Instead of waiting for opportunities to come to you or trying to outdo someone else, you take control and make things happen. Creators do not limit themselves to the traditional definitions of success. Rather than measuring success based on external validation, they find fulfillment in the process of creation itself, the act of bringing new ideas into existence, innovating and expressing themselves in unique ways. Whether it's in business, art, technology, or personal growth, the act of creation is what sets creators apart. It is a dynamic, ever-evolving process that builds upon itself over time. A key part of becoming a creator is recognizing that there is no need to compete for resources or recognition. The world is abundant, and opportunities are endless. When you focus on creation, you recognize that there is more than enough to go around for everyone. This abundance mindset frees you from the limitations imposed by competition. Rather than striving to win against others, you focus on contributing to the world in a way that aligns with your skills and passion. This shifts the focus from scarcity, where you feel the need to protect your position or outdo others, to abundance, where you are empowered to offer something meaningful without fear of being overshadowed. Being a creator also means learning to see obstacles and challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your success. Creators understand that failure is a part of the process and that mistakes are not a reflection of their worth or ability. Instead of viewing setbacks as competition lost, creators see them as valuable lessons that bring them closer to their goals. They embrace failure as an integral part of the creative process, using it to refine their ideas, improve their craft, and build resilience. In this way, being a creator allows you to maintain a sense of ownership over your progress and gives you the freedom to keep improving without fear of comparison. One of the greatest advantages of becoming a creator rather than a competitor is the sense of fulfillment and purpose that comes with it. Competition is often driven by external rewards, awards, recognition, money, things that can be fleeting and unsustainable. Creators, on the other hand, find meaning in the act of creating itself. The joy comes not from the outcome, but from the journey of bringing something new into existence. Whether it's writing a book, starting a business, designing a product, or pursuing any passion, the process of creation fosters a deeper connection to your work and to yourself. This sense of purpose provides lasting motivation even when external rewards are slow to materialize. Moreover, creators are not bound by the constraints of comparison. When you compete, you are constantly looking over your shoulder, worrying about how you measure up to others. But when you create, you are focused on your own vision, your own goals, and your own growth. This allows you to stay in your lane and avoid the paralyzing effects of comparison. You become less concerned with how others are performing and more focused on how you can improve and innovate. This freedom from comparison is liberating and empowering, enabling you to stay motivated and driven by your own internal standards rather than external pressures. Another significant benefit of becoming a creator is that you are contributing to the world in a unique way. While competition often revolves around personal gain and outshining others, creation is about contribution. When you create something, whether it's a piece of art, a business, a community project, or a new solution to a problem, you are offering something valuable that didn't exist before. Creators bring new ideas, new possibilities, and new perspectives into the world. This contribution not only helps others, but also fosters a sense of fulfillment within yourself, as you see the positive impact your creation has on others. In the end, the choice between being a competitor or a creator is a matter of perspective. Competitors are driven by the need to win or outperform others, often at the expense of their own peace of mind and happiness. Creators, on the other hand, are driven by the desire to express themselves, innovate, and contribute. By choosing to be a creator, you free yourself from the limitations of comparison and competition, allowing you to tap into your full potential. You focus not on what others are doing, but on what you can bring into the world. The path of creation is fulfilling, abundant, and full of endless possibilities. It is a path that leads not just to success, but to a deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment.